Unlocking the mystical truth of the rapture, a path to spiritual awakening awaits. I never expected a single dream to change everything. Still, one night, under the silver glow of the full moon, I found myself standing at the edge of a glowing forest. The air crackled with energy, a pulsating heartbeat of the earth itself. I could hear whispered secrets in the breeze, teasing my ears, calling my name. My heart raced with a mixture of fear and exhilaration. Lately I felt lost, as though I were drifting through a fog, unable to grasp what life was truly asking of me. All those questions, what was my purpose? Where was I headed, swirled in my mind like autumn leaves caught in a whirlwind. I sought answers in everything, from meditation to cryptic articles on ancient prophecies, each offering a glimmer of hope but also deepening my confusion. As I walked into that gleaming forest, every step felt like a push against my doubts. I observed the luminous path beneath my feet, glowing in otherworldly blue, illuminating moss that looked like emerald velvet. The air was saturated with the scent of pine, and something sweet and floral that tugged at my heart. It felt alive, aware of me. Was something waiting just beyond the trees? My pulse quickened at the thought. I bent down to touch the moss, cool and inviting, and in that moment, a rustle echoed through the branches above. I looked up. Small lights danced among the leaves, flickering like stars that had descended from the sky. Were they fairies? Or perhaps the spirits of those who had journeyed before me? The feeling was electric, wrapping around me like a blanket. I couldn't help but feel watched, embraced by something greater. But doubt began to creep in. Why was I here? What secrets did this mystical forest hold? The unanswered questions gnawed at me, tinged with a profound urgency. Was this a test? My heart tightened, a lump forming in my throat. I heard whispers amongst the leaves, words I couldn't catch, but they vibrated through the air like music. Was this the rapture, the moment of revelation we all craved? Then, for a brief instant, the dancing lights converged into a single bright orb, illuminating the path ahead. It pulsed with life, radiating warmth and freedom. My breath hitched. Could it be a sign? My hands trembled at the thought. What lay beyond that light? Was I ready to step into it? My mind swirled with questions, each one heavier than the last. Each one pulled me deeper into this mystery that felt like a doorway. The forest fell silent, cloaking me in stillness. My heart thundered in my chest, the moment stretching like taffy. As I stood on the threshold of the unknown, I knew this was just the beginning. I felt it in my bones. I had no idea what awaited me, but the thrill and terror were intoxicating. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. As I took a deep breath, the light began to pulse rhythmically, syncing with my heartbeat. It felt like an invitation wrapped in a challenge, urging me to step forward, to leap into the unknown. The whispers in the trees crescendoed, and I became acutely aware that the forest was not simply a backdrop. It was sentient, alive with intention and purpose. I took a hesitant step, then another, each footfall a testament to my courage. The air thickened with palpable energy, and with every advancement, I felt layers of my old self peeling away. Shadows flicked around me like playful sprites, teasing but never crossing the threshold of my comfort. Suddenly, a vivid image flickered in my mind, the face of an old woman I had never met. Her eyes sparkled with wisdom beyond ages, and a gentle smile played on her lips as if she held secrets of the universe. In her gaze, I felt potential surge through me. I could almost hear her say, "Trust the journey." But was that enough? Trust was a precarious thing, especially when hovering on the edges of the supernatural. As I stepped deeper, the forest opened up into a vast clearing, where the sky morphed into shades of indigo and gold, blending seamlessly with the ethereal glow of the environment. In the center stood an ancient tree, its trunk thick and gnarled, a guardian of the secrets it had witnessed throughout its existence. Intrigued, I approached, feeling an innate pull towards its impressive stature. Each knot in the bark told a story, its rings encasing time like pages in a book. I placed my hand upon its weathered surface, and a jolt of energy surged through me, igniting memories I had long buried. Faces of loved ones, friends, family, mentors flashed before my eyes. Their laughter echoed around me, melding with the gentle rustling of leaves. Was this a window into my past, or merely a trick of the mind? Then, from the depths of the tree's roots, a low hum resonated, vibrating through my fingertips and whispering ancient truths into my soul. Uncover your deepest fears, it seemed to say. Only then will the light unfold. The phrase seeped into my mind, instilling a mix of dread and exhilaration. What fears were holding me back? Could they be the very keys to my awakening? As I pondered this, the mood shifted with an impending realization. The luminous canopy above began to swirl, forming spirals of light that danced like galaxies. I gazed upward, entranced by the celestial display, when I noticed small figures emerging from the radiance. They glided softly towards me, ethereal silhouettes expressing quiet compassion. Were these guardians of the truth, sent to guide me on my perilous journey? One stepped forth, shimmering like moonlight. You have questions that yearn for answers, it said, its voice resonating deep within me. But know this, true understanding requires you to confront what lingers below the surface. A haze of uncertainty washed over me. I had spent months running from my fears, dressing them up in self-doubt and anxiety. Suddenly, fragments of a forgotten childhood flashed before me, moments of both joy and sorrow. The challenges I had faced felt like weights, but could they transform into wings? Everything I had avoided, the fractured relationships and missed opportunities, now appeared as vital lessons, each contributing to the larger tapestry of my existence. And your journey is unique, the figure continued, as if reading my thoughts. What you seek exists within. It extended its hand towards the tree, and a vibrant light enveloped the clearing. In an instant, my heart thumped with newfound hope, yet anxiety lingered at the edges. What lay ahead? What truths would I have to forfeit in pursuit of enlightenment? As the lights faded and the figures receded, I stood alone, the echoes of their wisdom woven into my thoughts. The old tree persisted, a silent witness to my turmoil and potential. I turned back to the glowing path, realizing that my journey was only beginning, filled with unknowns that shimmered enticingly like the dancing lights in the canopy. What were the fears I must confront to unlock my deepest truths? What revelations awaited in the shadows of my past? I realized that I had forged a new dimension of introspection, one as unpredictable as the forest that surrounded me. In this vast mystery, I questioned not only my purpose but the very fabric of existence and the divine interplay that connects us all. Would I find the answers I sought, or merely uncover more questions along this winding path? My journey continued, beckoning me to step further into the realms of the unknown. As I took another step onto the path ahead, a light mist curled around my ankles, bathing my surroundings in an otherworldly glow. The air thickened with the scent of moss and damp earth, the resonating hum from the ancient tree now replaced by a gentle symphony of crickets and birds. Each sound seemed to fracture the stillness of the night, awakening a deeper awareness within me. I moved forward cautiously, my heart now attuned to the rhythm of the forest, where every branch and rustle felt like a whisper from the divine. A sense of anticipation pressed upon me, nudging me closer to a destiny that felt both terrifying and exhilarating. The path unfolded like a stream flowing toward an inevitable convergence. Suddenly, a shimmer caught my eye, a circle of glowing orbs hovering just above the ground. Drawn to them like a moth to a flame, I knelt to examine the wondrous display. Each orb pulsed with a different hue, radiating warmth and beckoning me to come closer. They danced in the quiet air, and I could feel the energy radiating from them, a beckoning call that resonated deep within my spirit. "What are you?" I whispered, unsure if I should touch them. The question hung suspended, seemingly inviting a response. In that instant, the vibrations intensified. Each orb emitted a sound, harmonious and melodic, weaving together into a celestial chorus that sent chills down my spine. Then, the orbs synchronized, their rhythms aligning like the beats of hearts echoing in unison. A vision emerged before me, a kaleidoscope of light revealing the vast expanse of the universe. I witnessed planets spinning, stars being born and extinguished, and the spirals of galaxies dancing in cosmic chaos. However, at the center of this celestial ballet was a luminous figure, radiant and transformative. As I observed, a sensation washed over me, an understanding creeping into my consciousness. The being reflected everything and nothing, encapsulating duality in a single moment. It was a manifestation of the divine, an embodiment of the interconnectedness of all that exists. In its gaze, I saw not only creation but my own reflection, the myriad facets of my being transcending time and space. What did all these signs mean? Did they carry messages from realms beyond, or were they merely facets of my own psyche revealing themselves? I felt overwhelmed, yet invigorated. Life was a mosaic of experiences, each piece integral to the whole. At that moment, the orbs swirled around me, cocooning me in a luminescent embrace. They whispered in harmonious tones, pressing the notion of connection and purpose into the very fabric of my soul. "Fear not what you cannot see," they chorused. "In every shadow lies a lesson, and every lesson, a stepping stone toward your light." With the ethereal song fading, I opened my eyes, and suddenly the clearing transformed. The trees swayed as if acknowledging my belief and movement. The luminous orb dancers streamed away, leaving an echo of their symphony behind, still resonating in my chest. Yet uncertainty lingered like a specter, floating at the edge of my consciousness. Had I truly understood their message? Each orb had possessed a unique shade, but does that mean they denoted individual fears, or perhaps desires? Intentions lurking in the shadows of my psyche, waiting for recognition? The forest began to vibrate with the promise of further revelations. I realized that I could not fully unlock my potential without embracing the darker corners of my soul, the unaddressed fears that seemingly intertwined with my essence. Perhaps those outskirts of fear also held memories, fragmented and haunting, waiting to be reintegrated into my being. As I looked around, I could sense the path evolving, branches stretching into myriad pathways ahead, each beckoning me toward the unknown. The question lingered in my mind like a haunting melody: what pieces of myself would I need to reclaim to step into the fullness of my truth? Could my fears, once confronted, lead not just to answers, but to a deeper understanding of purpose? See a purpose shaped by love, loss, and the inevitable dance of existence? The mystical call of the forest urged me forward once more as I prepared to confront the layers that defined me, inching closer to the rapture that awaited. The journey continued, each footfall steeped in the promise of connection to a truth that was both personal and universal, hidden beneath the surface yet begging to be uncovered. With each step, I felt the air transform, becoming heavier, charged with an unspoken energy. The sun had dipped below the horizon, and twilight draped the forest in shades of purple and deep blue. Glimmers of the fading light woven through the treetops flickered like the last notes of a gentle lullaby, urging me onward into the cool embrace of the night. A faint shimmer appeared ahead, a fleeting silhouette dancing in the shadows. As I approached, it coalesced into a figure dressed in flowing robes, adorned with symbols that glinted like stars against the fabric. An elder, their hair silvered like moonlight, stood before me with a serenity that radiated wisdom. Their presence felt both grounding and transitory, evoking feelings of nostalgia and reverence. "Welcome, seeker," they spoke, their voice echoing gently, as if carried on the breeze. "You are embarking on a journey of unraveling, a layered exploration of self that transcends the grasp of time." I was struck by the familiarity of their words, as if they were drawing from the depths of my own consciousness. "I seek understanding," I responded, my voice barely above a whisper. The orbs spoke to me of connection, fear, and purpose. I yearned to integrate the pieces of myself I have lost along the way. The elder's eyes shimmered with understanding, reflecting my own tangled emotions. "The journey is not merely about recovery but acceptance. To embrace every fragment of your being is to honor the paradox of existence, the light that empowers you and the shadows that teach you. You are an intricate tapestry woven from moments of joy and sorrow, love and fear." As they spoke, a mystical glow enveloped the elder, and visions cascaded forth like a waterfall of memories launched from moments of pivotal significance. I saw my childhood, during which laughter harmonized with tears of loss, the friendships that blossomed, only to wither, the dreams I chased, only to let them slip through my fingers. Each memory seemed ethereal yet tangible, like a thread of light woven into my soul. But what if my shadows consume me? I asked, feeling the weight of apprehension clinging to my heart. What if the darkness I fear reveals more pain than I can bear? The elder smiled softly, shaking their head. Freedom lies in the acceptance of both shadow and light. Fear is not meant to be eradicated, but to be understood and woven into the fabric of your existence. Each struggle you face guides you closer to the truth of who you are meant to be. As I absorbed these words, an overwhelming warmth surged through me, urging the doubts that encumbered my heart to fade. The elder raised a hand, and suddenly I was transported to a clearing illuminated by the radiant glow of moonlight. A circle of stones encased it like a guardian of sacred knowledge, each carrying intricate etchings that pulsed with energy. Here you will confront what you seek, the elder directed, gesturing toward the stones. Lay bare your fears. Speak their names, and they shall reveal the truths necessary for your awakening. With a measured breath, I stepped toward the center of the circle. My heart raced, the evening air thick with anticipation. I opened my mouth and spoke my fears aloud, of failure, of loss, of unworthiness, but as each word slipped from my lips, I felt the weight lift. The stones vibrated with energy, responding to the resonance of my voice, revealing images of strength intertwined with vulnerability. In the stillness that followed, I heard the elder's encouragement. Recognize that within each fear lies the potential for transformation. Your wounds are not scars but markings of resilience, paths that lead you back to wholeness. As the echoes of my utterances faded, I was struck by visions of a future unbound by fear. I saw myself stepping into new realms of possibility, failures morphing into open doors rather than impenetrable walls. Little by little, I began to intertwine shadows with light, a dance of acceptance blossoming within me. Yet, as the insights began to solidify, an unanswered echo hummed beneath the surface. Though I felt lighter, the complexity of my existence remained abundant. How far would I need to journey through this intertwining path of light and shadow to discover the ultimate truth of my purpose? Would my fears ever fully dissolve, or would they remain, forever altered, guiding me toward deeper revelations? In that sacred circle, kissed gently by the moonlight, I found a flicker of hope mingled with uncertainty, a question that remained tantalizingly elusive and profound. What does it truly mean to step into the fullness of my being, and how does embracing my shadows illuminate the path ahead? The night whispered its response, and I knew the journey was far from over. The whispers of the night painted a tapestry of silence around me, as I stood in the sacred circle, contemplating the questions that hung in the air like fragrant incense. The elder, their visage softly illuminated by celestial light, watched my introspection with an encouraging gaze. It was a reminder that I was not alone in this exploration, that we are each part of a collective existence, a shared journey marked by traces of the divine. A rustling sound stirred in the underbrush, breaking the cocoon of stillness. My heart leapt as I turned to see a fox emerge from the shadows, its sleek form shimmering like molten gold in the moonlight. There was something profoundly wise in its amber eyes, a knowing that seemed to resonate with the elder's earlier teachings. In that moment, I felt a on a bridge between instinct and intuition. Fear not the unknown, the elder said softly, gesturing toward the fox, which now trotted closer, its movements graceful and deliberate. An animal of the wild can teach you much about adaptability and survival. Observe its ways. It walks with purpose but also embodies the spirit of play. It is a reminder that existence is a balance of seriousness and joy. As the fox settled beside me, it turned its head and locked eyes with mine. Its gaze pierced through my defenses, inviting me to delve deeper into the very essence of my being. I found myself pondering, how could I embrace the playful spirit within me while navigating the serious currents of life? What if joy and wisdom were two halves of the same whole I had yet to fully uncover? In a gesture of invitation, the elder motioned for me to follow, and I felt a pull toward the forest's depths. The path ahead glimmered with glints of light, each one beckoning like a whisper of the past. As we walked, the air seemed to shift, thickening with the scent of earth and the hum of life teeming around us. Shadows danced playfully between the trees, and I felt the weight of my unanswered questions transform into a curiosity that propelled me forward. After a while, we arrived at a glade where ancient trees stood, their gnarled roots entwined like lovers holding on through time. Within this sacred space lay an intricate mosaic of stones, each telling stories of triumphs and trials, of beginnings and ends. The air buzzed with a palpable energy, as if the very essence of life pulsed through the ground beneath my feet. Each stone represents a crossroads, the elder explained, gesturing at the patterns winking under the moon's soft glow. Here, you may see the multitude of choices that have shaped you. The power of your journey is not only in the destination but in discerning the signs the universe provides at each turn. Kneeling, I traced the surface of a stone where shimmering patterns reflected memories of joy and sorrow, the laughter of a childhood friend, the weight of betrayal from a past lover. Each observation dug deep into my consciousness, releasing a torrent of emotions that churned within me. "What do you see?" the elder asked, their tone gentle and attentive. "I see fragments of my history," I replied, feeling the swell of emotions breaking free. "Moments when I felt invincible and others when I was shattered." "Indeed," the elder affirmed. "But notice how the light within those shadows shines through. Every difficulty births resilience. Every heartbreak births compassion. Each moment of pain contains the seed of wisdom." As I absorbed the magnitude of their words, I allowed myself to fully embrace the bittersweet nature of my existence. It felt as though I were dancing on the edges of reality, swaying between past pain and the glimmers of future joy. Yet within this awakening, a new question surfaced: how could I allow these past experiences to inform my future without allowing pain to define me? How do I weave the threads of my life into a fabric that enhances rather than constricts the essence of who I am? The fox nuzzled my hand, grounding me in this moment with its tranquil presence. I realized the importance of surrendering to the journey, the necessity of trusting the process that unfolds with each step. The blend of shadows and light would not only guide my path but would serve as a reminder of my inherent strength, the grace I was beginning to understand. Standing again, I looked toward the elder, seeking further guidance. Could these stones offer answers, or were they merely reflections of the questions I had yet to fully articulate? The night sky above twinkled with distant stars, each one a heartbeat of possibility. In that luminous moment, the question that gripped my heart shimmered in my mind: what if the essence of my journey lies not in the resolution of questions, but in the relentless pursuit of understanding the beautiful complexities of my existence? The elder's eyes sparkled with a knowing gleam, as if they could hear the thoughts swirling within me, restless like the leaves rustling overhead. With a gracious smile, they beckoned me further into the glade, where a cluster of luminous mushrooms thrived under the watchful gaze of the silver moon. There was an allure to these fungi, their glow pulsating in patterns that reminded me of the heartbeat of the earth itself. "Nature speaks in languages we often overlook," the elder murmured, kneeling down to observe the delicate mushrooms. "These humble beings thrive in darkness, transforming the decaying into nourishment. They are the silent alchemists of the forest, reminding us that from decay can emerge vibrant life." I knelt beside them, entranced by the vibrant luminescence. "But how?" I whispered, wrapping my fingers around a sturdy stem. "How do we transform our own decay into something beautiful?" "Ah, that is the heart of the matter," the elder replied, their voice rich with warmth. "Transformation is rooted in acceptance. Every burden we carry, every sorrow we experience, can be a catalyst for growth. The essence lies in how we nurture those feelings and allow them to contribute to our understanding of ourselves." I gazed at the glowing fungi, pondering their resilience. In my mind, my own struggles flashed like memories, moments of vulnerability, heartache, and confusion. They were pieces of a tapestry, intricate and tangled, yet somehow bursting with potential. "Is it even possible for me to see my pain as a source of strength?" I asked, doubt creeping in like an unwanted shadow. The elder met my gaze, unflinching. "Consider your own journey, how far you have come. Each step has been built upon the scars you bear. They are not mere markers of what was lost but testaments to your endurance, your capacity to reinvent and refresh your spirit. Embrace them as marks of your evolution. Feeling a stirring of courage within, I began to speak, my voice shaking at first. I often worry I am consumed by my past, unable to break free. I want to be vibrant like these mushrooms, to thrive despite my darkness. Can I transform these shadows into light? The elder nodded, their expression serene. Transformation begins with intention and practice. Seek to illuminate the forgotten corners of your heart. Treasure your vulnerabilities and allow them to teach you generosity, empathy, and grace. You will find your true self in the very act of acknowledging your struggles. As I absorbed their wisdom, the fox moved gracefully through the underbrush, pausing to catch my eye once more. There was a glimmer of understanding there, a gentle reminder of the delicate dance between darkness and light that I must embrace. Could it be that within the vulnerability of my heart lay not just the weight of sorrow, but the profound strength to rise again, to find joy even amid trials? In that moment, a rustling from deeper within the woods caught my attention. Curious, I turned to face the source, and to my astonishment, a spectral figure emerged, cloaked in a flowing garment that seemed to merge with the moonlight. It radiated an ethereal presence, an energy that was simultaneously soothing and invigorating, like a balm for the soul. I have come as a guide, the figure intoned, each word wrapping around me like silken threads. The path of awakening is not without its wanderers, and I am here to illuminate the shadows that seek to confound you. My heart raced with a mixture of fear and intrigue. What shadows? What confounds me? I asked, feeling the weight of my uncertainty heavy in the air. The figure raised a hand, revealing intricate symbols of wisdom etched into their palm. Your journey is laden with dilemmas, choices woven into the very fabric of existence. Yet, every shadow contains a potential light. You stand at the cusp of discovery, but remember the answers you seek may not align with the questions you ask. As I absorbed this revelation, a myriad of questions cascaded through my thoughts, questions left unarticulated, steeped in uncertainty. What were these shadows that clouded my understanding? How could I decode the symbols of my experience and uncover the deeper truths buried within? As the figure dissolved into the mist, leaving behind a shimmering trace of light, I turned back to the elder, filled with renewed purpose and wonder. How must I proceed on this journey? What tools could guide me in recognizing the lights hidden within my shadows? With the moon hanging high above, casting its gentle glow over the glade, I took a deep breath. Within me, the essence of curiosity ignited a fire, sparking the desire to explore the uncharted territories of my being. What might I find if I were to truly embrace this path of introspection, of weaving light through darkness? What wisdom awaits in honoring the shadowed whispers of my spirit? As the echoes of the figure's presence faded into the night, I felt a surge of energy coursing through me, like the first rays of dawn breaking through a dark horizon. Each breath seemed to weave with the whispers of the forest, stirring the stillness as if encouraging me to move forward. The elder watched me with a knowing smile, acknowledging the transformation already taking root within my heart. Every journey has its questions, they remarked, their voice a soft caress against the cool evening air. It is through questioning that we unearth the deeper layers of our being. What do you seek now, seeker of light? What indeed was I searching for? My mind whirled as I contemplated the spectral figure's words. In the depths of my heart, I yearned for clarity, eager to decipher the language of my shadows. I seek understanding, I replied, courage fluttering like wings in my chest. Understanding of my pain, my grief, the very essence that holds me captive. The elder nodded, guiding me to a nearby stream that glimmered under the moon's gentle caress, its waters flowing steadily as if whispering secrets to those who would listen. Nature shows us the patterns of life, they said, crouching beside the crystalline surface. Observe how water carves its path. It does not fight the rocks or the earth, it flows around them, embracing obstacles as part of its journey. In doing so, it reveals the landscape anew. I knelt beside the stream, entranced by its serene movement. It mirrored the flow of thoughts racing through my mind, resilient and relentless. How can I learn this flow? I asked, tracing my fingers through the water, feeling its coolness invigorate my spirit. By surrendering, the elder replied, their gaze drifting towards the star-studded sky. Surrender does not equate to giving up. It is acknowledging what is without resistance. Your shadows are not foes, they are companions that guide you toward awareness. Accept them, learn from them, and through that acceptance, find the strength to flow. The words settled like the gentle ripples of the stream, beautifully resonating with my own fears and struggles. Could it be that my pain, long relegated to the depths, was a teacher in disguise? As I pondered this, a flicker of light caught my eye from the other side of the stream, a firefly dancing gracefully against the night backdrop. Even the smallest spark can illuminate the darkest night, the elder remarked, their eyes sparkling with ancient wisdom. In the delicate dance of shadows and light, there lies an opportunity to awaken. What will you do to cultivate your inner fire? I watched the firefly as it wove through the darkness, unwavering in its pursuit of brightness. Inspired, I closed my eyes, envisioning my own inner light flickering, yearning to shine. I must nurture it, I breathed, feeling a new resolve bubbling within me. But how? How can I tend to the flame of my spirit when so much weighs me down? Start with acknowledgement, the elder advised, their voice like a lullaby amidst the symphony of crickets surrounding us. Daily, seek moments of solitude, moments where you can weightlessly sift through your thoughts and feelings. Write them down, explore them. In doing so, illuminate those corners you fear to venture into. I envisioned a journal, a sacred space where truths could spill forth unfiltered, revealing lessons hidden beneath layers of despair. And will this truly guide me? I asked, skepticism creeping in, casting a fleeting shadow across my heart. The elder's smile widened, a gentle radiance infused with faith. Every step taken with intention has the power to guide you toward awakening. Trust the process, trust yourself. The universe conspires to reveal what you most need when you commit to the journey with an open heart. In that moment, clarity blossomed within me like the luminescent mushrooms from earlier. I felt a connection to something greater than myself, a tapestry of spirit woven by threads of light and shadow, growth and decay. Could my desire to illuminate my own darkness really be the first step toward embracing my entirety? The sound of the stream flowed softly, reminding me that time was fluid, not fixed. As I stood there, gazing at the stars casting their watchful gaze upon us, a shimmering question arose in my heart like a star glowing against the inky canvas. What if my shadows were merely unrecognized aspects of my spirit, patiently waiting for acknowledgement to shine? With the night falling deeper around us, I felt the pull of the unknown beckoning me further into my journey. What revelations might await me in the silent annals of introspection? How would my heart transform as I carefully navigated this delicate interplay between light and dark? Each mystery lingered in the air, pulsating gently like the heartbeat of the earth, awakening a profound curiosity that tethered me to the ever-elusive truth of my existence. As dawn broke in a gentle embrace, painting the horizon in hues of orange and gold, I woke with the sun's warmth seeping through the trees, whispering messages of hope and new beginnings. The elder had slipped away in the quiet of the night, leaving behind a sense of peace that wrapped around me like a comforting shawl. Today, I would embark on a new chapter in my journey, a quest for deeper understanding and connection. With the journal tucked under my arm, I felt its weight, a promise I had made to myself. Inspired by the elder's wisdom, I found a secluded spot, a small clearing surrounded by ancient trees whose roots tangled like the very stories of the earth. In this sacred space, I sat upon the cool, damp grass and opened the journal, allowing the stillness to guide my thoughts. Before I explore the shadows within, I wrote, I must first illuminate the light that exists in me, for even the greatest struggles can only be understood against the backdrop of joy and love. As I penned my reflections, moments of happiness, times the sun had felt warm against my skin, laughter shared in company, waves of gratitude flooded over me. Each stroke of the pen was an act of defiance against the darkness that had long overshadowed my spirit. Just as the water acknowledged its surrounding terrain, so too did I begin to recognize my own landscape when filled with hidden treasures waiting to be revealed. Yet, the shadows danced at the periphery of my words, whispering doubts and fears. I closed my eyes and inhaled deeply, recalling the elder's voice urging me to greet my companion's grief, the anger, the longing. I opened myself to them, not with resistance, but with a tender curiosity. Then, Just as I thought I was ready to face my depths, a soft rustling caught my attention. I turned to see a doe emerge from the thicket, her eyes wide, reflecting the light with a gentle wisdom. In her presence, I felt a warm serenity wash over me, transcending the need to label fear as an adversary. The doe paused, her gaze steady upon mine, as if inviting me to join her in a more profound understanding of this moment. Could animals be messengers? I thought, sensing the connection between us broadening. In that fleeting stillness, I felt a conversation that transcended words, a silent exchange between hearts, each pulse echoing a rhythm of existence and survival, of grace amid uncertainty. The notion settled within me. Perhaps the shadows I feared were calling me to something sacred. As the doe vanished, I returned to my journal, scribbling down my insights, realizing this encounter was a revelation. Nature breathed in harmony with my spirit, revealing that shadows were not merely burdens to carry but catalysts for growth, fellow travelers who had a role in shaping my journey. Suddenly, a thought flickered across the expanse of my mind, bright as the emerging sun. What if embracing my shadows allowed me to connect not only with myself but with the world around me? Could my journey be a bridge to understanding others who walk similar paths? Filled with new fervor, I ventured deeper into the woods, my feet finding a rhythm with the forest floor, each step a testament to my march toward awakening. As the sun climbed higher, shafts of light pierced through the emerald canopy, casting a mosaic of shadows and brilliance that wove a tapestry upon my skin. In the interplay of darkness and light, I began to see parables. Life, fragile yet resilient, mirrors the nature of our existence. In the hush of the trees, I began to truly feel the dichotomy of my soul. Is it possible that the pain I carry has woven ties with the joy I seek? I mused, pondering how both elements were intrinsic to the human experience. Each nuance of emotion told stories filled with lessons, an essential symphony harmonizing existence. As I huddled beneath a towering oak, I felt compelled to reflect on what I would find if I fully embraced every facet of myself. The glimmers of the firefly, the graceful doe, and the ancient trees became symbols of strength, resilience, and the beauty inherent in vulnerability. Yet, the question remained, a soft echo laden with curiosity. How do I embrace the entirety of my being, not just the parts that shine while navigating the uncertain paths of sorrow? In that moment, I realized the journey to awakening was an ongoing process, a spiral rather than a straight line. Embracing who I am meant walking hand in hand with my shadow, learning from it while nevertheless nurturing the light. Each step forward was a call to both discover and create meaning in my life, a call I felt ready to answer. As the day unfolded, I felt an increasingly intense connection to the spirit of the earth around me, urging me to listen closely. What might the forest share with me through silence, stillness, and observation? As I ventured onward, a new question unfurled in my heart, beckoning me to tread deeper along this mystical path. What new revelations lie just beyond the shadows, waiting for me to embrace them? The whispers of the forest grew louder as I wandered, each rustle and chirp a note in an intricate symphony composed by nature. My heart quickened with anticipation, no longer feeling tethered to the worries that accompanied my past. Instead, a sense of possibility surged forth, almost palpable in the air that cradled me. How wondrous it felt to be cradled by this ancient entity, as if the earth herself conspired to reveal her secrets to an eager seeker. I pursued a narrow winding path, flanked by clusters of wild flowers that seemed to dance in the breeze, their colors vibrant against the lush greens. Pausing to admire a patch of vivid violets, I noticed a delicate thread of webbing glistening in the sunlight, connecting one blossom to another. Intrigued, I knelt closer, tracing the perimeter of that fragile web with my gaze struck by its artistry. What a beautiful reminder, I mused, that seemingly delicate threads forge connections between all beings. Could this be how we, too, are linked by the unseen forces of love and empathy? As I continued my journey, my path led me to a small brook, its waters laughing softly as they danced over smooth stones, reflecting the blue of the sky above. Here, I decided to rest, the sounds soothing like a sweet lullaby. Sitting with my legs crossed, I allowed the murmurs of the brook to envelop me, a safe space from which I might contemplate the essence of my unfolding inquiry. Am I meant to find solace in solitude? I pondered, watching the water weave effortlessly around the rocks. Solitude had often felt like a weight rather than a gift, a sepulchre of lonely thoughts rather than a sanctuary. But here, it seemed less a desert and more a fertile land ready to nourish my spirit, inviting me to explore the depths within. What wisdom emerges when I welcome solitude as a companion rather than a foe? A flicker of movement caught my eye. A vibrant blue dragonfly hovered above the brook, its iridescent wings shimmering like jewels, darting just above the surface. I watched with rapt attention as it flitted gracefully, embodying a dance between the realms of earth and air. How beautiful, how free, I breathed, envious of its unbridled essence. The dragonfly brought forth an epiphany, illuminating the truth that transformation could arise from even the stillest of waters. Its journey from nymph to aerial beauty mirrored my aspiration for liberation. What must I shed to allow my wings to unfurl? I questioned, recognizing that my shadows were akin to the chrysalis, a metamorphosis into something more radiant. With this thought, I reached for my journal once more, swirling my pen across the page with renewed urgency. To welcome the light, I wrote, I must invite the darkness to reveal its gifts. Each struggle whispers of resilience, urging me to transcend the constraints that shackle my spirit. As this flowed from my heart onto paper, I felt an urging from the earth below. Closing my eyes, I placed my palm against the cool soil, grounding myself, connecting deeply with the pulse of life around me. In this communion with the ground, visions shimmered at the edge of my consciousness, the faces of those I had loved and lost, their laughter mingling with the babbling brook. A single tear fell, a testament both to the sorrow of absence and the presence of connection. The dragonfly reappeared, hovering close, almost beckoning me to follow it as it glided down the brook. Driven by wonder, I rose and moved alongside the water, matching my pace with its fluid rhythm. It twisted and turned, leading me to a hidden glade bathed in golden sunlight, where the air blossomed with the fragrant aroma of honeysuckle. Here, the boundaries between my world and the spirit realm seemed to dissolve. Just ahead lay a cluster of enormous stones, weathered and wise, pulsing with an energy that spoke of age-old secrets. I approached with reverence, placing my hand upon one of the boulders, feeling the vibrations surge through my fingertips, a deep warmth resonating with something within me. What stories do you hold? I whispered, entranced by the history etched into the surface, primeval and enduring. A profound sensation washed over me as I leaned closer, an awareness that this ancient stone had witnessed countless souls traverse paths of transformation, their shadows entwined with light in a grand cosmic dance. My breath hitched, realizing that I was not alone in my struggles, nor in my quest for truth. Rather, I was among a lineage of seekers who had come before me. What a wondrous tapestry we weave together, I thought, each thread representing a moment, an emotion, a longing. Yet this realization raised questions, swirling like autumn leaves. How many of these threads were buried beneath the weight of fear? What threads remained unwoven, waiting for the courage to be drawn forth? As the dragonfly bobbed in the air, beckoning me into deeper realms of understanding, I felt an old ache stir within me, ache for answers tempered by acceptance. Could I embrace the unknown, accepting that certain truths would only reveal themselves in time, like the changing of seasons? With a heart poised between questions and vulnerabilities, I stood in reverence to the stones, a commitment forming both to myself and the journey ahead. The shadows would guide me just as the light would illuminate the truths yet veiled. As I turned to leave the glade, I felt the warmth of the sun enveloping me, igniting a quiet emboldenment within. I carried with me the beauty of the dragonfly, the wisdom of the earth, and the uncharted depths of my spirit. Before me lay not just a path to understanding, but a promise that would resonate even in the face of uncertainty, a sacred journey yet to be fulfilled. And so I wandered further down the brook, pondering the revelations that awaited in the embrace of shadows and light, asking quietly to the wind, what gifts lie concealed in the depths of my soul, waiting for me to unlock them. As I ventured deeper into the embrace of the forest, my heart pulsed with anticipation, each beat a reminder of the journey I had undertaken. The sun hung lower in the sky, casting long, dappled shadows across the path, as if urging me onward into the unfolding layers of my existence. This mystical realm was no longer merely a backdrop but a living antiquity guide in my exploration of self, whispering its ancient wisdom with every breeze. The ethereal whisper of leaves overhead mingled with the gentle trickle of the nearby brook, an interwoven symphony that resonated with my spirit. I had recently discovered an unsettling truth, that inner transformation was not the eradication of shadows, but rather their embrace. Each moment of doubt, each flicker of fear, had been asking for acknowledgement instead of denial. Their wisdom, the lessons held within their depths, was the key to my awakening. What caught my attention now was the magnitude of interconnectedness that pulsed through this enchanted place. With every breath, I felt the pulse of the earth align with my own heartbeat. This energy was not a mere reflection of my fears but a vibrant tapestry woven from the threads of countless souls, each whispering their stories as I tread along this path. Suddenly it struck me, we are all intricately connected, and through our shared vulnerabilities foster resilience, compassion, and love. Drawing nearer to the brook, I recalled the lessons taught by the water show. They flowed around obstacles and embraced change, how they transformed the world around them with gentle persistence. I wished to embody such grace, confront my fears with the same fluidity. As I knelt beside the bubbling water, a great peace enveloped me. I was ready to acknowledge the shadows, allowing them to guide me to hidden treasures. Closing my eyes, I listened carefully as if a sacred revelation was about to unfold. "What lies ahead?" I asked softly. "What truths must I unveil to fully awaken?" The breeze wrapped around me like a lover's embrace, a promise urging me forward. Gazing into the translucent waters, I watched as my reflection morphed, rippling with emotion. The brook began to show me visions, the faces of loved ones, joys and heartaches intertwining like the flowing water. I remembered the guidance of the elder, who had taught me to welcome sadness and joy as simultaneous threads in the grand tapestry of existence. Each encounter I had experienced was a vital brushstroke in this canvas of life, and then, like a flash of inspiration, it hit me, realization that my essence was not defined solely by the light I held but was enriched by the shadows I learned to dance with. That true awakening resided in the delicate interplay between despair and hope, love and loss. Encounters with darkness had been crucial, each one an intricate stone adding depth to my path. The kaleidoscope of experiences molded my spirit, revealing the greater truths of who I was destined to become. With newfound resolve, I stood up and took a deep breath, feeling gratitude wrap me in its warmth. I was ready to share my journey, to become a vessel through which others might also explore their own shadows, to allow these collective burdens to become bridges of understanding, healing, and connection. My journey extends beyond myself into a universal exploration of spirit, a symphony resonating with compassion, love, and liberation. In that moment of clarity, I knew that the answers I sought lay not in the conquest of understanding but in embodying love, compassion, and vulnerability. The paradox of existence mirrored the dance of shadow and light, a dance in which I had begun to partake fully, breathing in the beauty of life in its entirety. With that realization firmly rooted in my core, I turned to face the path that stretched before me, awash in shades of gold and silver, each step revealing further wisdom and insight. I walked onward with intention, feeling my soul unfold like the petals of a flower, fragrant and vibrant. And as I did, the entirety of the forest whispered its approval, a promise that I was not merely losing pieces of myself but rather gathering them, weaving together a magnificent, iridescent tapestry. In this sacred space, I understood the truth of the rapture not as an end, but as a beginning. It was a journey back to remembrance, to love and acceptance of every part of myself, and every being that shared this universe. I knew that the shadows would continue to dance their intricate ballet around me, but now, with each turn of my gaze, I saw not obstacles but invitations to embrace, to learn, to connect. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of rose and violet, I took one last deep breath before whispering a heartfelt promise to the universe. I choose to embrace all aspects of my being, for I am both shadow and light, a work of art in continual progress. And at that moment, the realization echoed in the chambers of my heart, a truth shared by all, a gentle song of existence that harmonizes across the ages. We are woven together, bound by love, forever transformed by the dance between the light and the shadows that shape our souls.